21 years ago, we remember what happened on 9/11. Join us for a 10-bell salute.
Standing Strong with Waylon Myers.
I am Waylon Myers, and come along with us as we interview people around the world talking about life's challenging struggles.
Such as bullying, depression, anxiety, crimes, hate, and more.
These things are breaking us apart in this world. It's time we bring more kindness and courage back into the world. We stand strong together.
You there, Tyler?
Yeah, I apologize. I was having some technical problems. So, hey, Waylon, it's great to be on the show with you. Hey, it's going to happen. We're live, so
Let me just redo this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 41st episode of Standing Strong with Waylon Myers. I am Waylon Myers, and I am so excited to be bringing you all another episode. Joining me right now is my co-host, Tyler Peters. What's up, Tyler?
Hey, what's going on, Waylon? It's always a pleasure to join you, and I can't wait to talk to our guest. And as always, I'm just so excited and thrilled to be on Standing Strong for another episode.
Same here. And yeah, you can never expect what's going to happen during these lives.
No, you can't. That's why it's live. Like you said, there's always going to be some surprises for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So today is the 21st anniversary of 9/11. I was just in the 3rd grade when I heard the news. Where were you during that time?
I was in school. Now, I can't remember the grade I was in, but I was definitely can remember it like it wasn't too long ago because a lady had told us about it. That was the lunch lady, I believe, if I'm recalling the memory exactly, that, the planes had crashed into the Twin Towers and everybody the emotions were just so ramped up. It was, nobody could believe what was happening. This was like something out of a movie, but it was reality. And it was just a trying time, very, traumatizing experience as well as the word I was looking for. So, I just want to say that we remember the victims of 9/11 and all the crash sites, and definitely thankful for our country, the United States of America, and just want to send our prayers to those who have lost, their lives or had loved ones that lost their lives. It is so meaningful, and we remember them.
Absolutely. Amen. And now, everyone, I am going to read my introduction of today's guest. Tracy Fisher is an actor who is known from Constantine as Nurse Brown on NBC. He played the young father in Jeremy Camp's music video, Keep Me in the Moment. Tracy also played a realtor and the Christmas lesson on Lifetime, and the lead role in Lion Style. He has also did projects such as Pan American, starring Eric Roberts, The Road to Galena, nor Vacancy, and Inspire of Exists. Tracy Fisher is an inspirational person. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you my very first guest on Standing Strong, Tracy Fisher.
Yay!
What's up,
What's up,
Tracy?
guys? How are you?
How's it going?
It's going okay.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. How are you
it's
guys?
doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. And
You're welcome.
Definitely all the prayers going out today for 9/11. Absolutely.
Yep. At this time, just so anyone who is watching, can you promote your social media just in case they want to get connected?
Yeah,
with you?
really the best place to find me is on Instagram. It's at Trey, Treyc Fisher.com. That's probably the best place to find me. I'm always posting something. So,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's a great place. So feel free to come over and follow or like. That would be great.
Yeah. So the first question I have for you,
Sure.
were you a victim of bullying? If so, what advice did you follow to avoid the negativity of people's opinion about you?
I won't say that I was really a victim of bullying per se, but as I was saying, earlier that I have certain things that make me insecure about myself. Southern accent, living in LA with that, talking kind of fast and kind of mumbling my words together. So that's not always, and that's still, it follows you through life. It's not something that you can just to pick up with and leave it. But that's kind of where I'm at as far as that. I mean, I still have to battle that every single day in a sense. So not so much in high school or whatever, but through life, I'm still working with that. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, bullying is non-okay in any circumstances.
Absolutely.
No, not at all.
Tyler, do you have anything to add?
I was just going to add, I agree with the insecurity because I've got likewise a Southern accent, so I get it. If you're trying to fit in, it's kind of like school in a way, and it's just that's what's funny. But we got to be who we are. I used to I used to want to hide that accent, and now I'm glad I don't because everybody they enjoy it. So I'm with you. So that's all I was going to add to it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of bullying, what is your personal opinion on cyberbullying? Because people can be mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's in any form of bullying is not right, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I do say when I grew up, I was going to high school in the 90s. So social media, thank God that wasn't around. Right. So it was isolated to a certain location. But social media just puts it's a bad spin, period. I mean, it's there. And once you put it up, it's up. And it's very hard to take down. It's like something that can last forever. So I don't agree with bullying in any aspects of bullying, period.
I agree.
Yeah, we definitely stand against it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, talking about depression and anxiety, what has helped you overcome it, and what advice would you give to people around the world?
Well, I mean, for my business, for an example, it's a very up and down business. One day you're hot, you make booking a lot of parts, and then it may be 3 months from now you book another part. So it's a lot of downtime in between, but you're always, auditioning. But what I would say is that you have to have something that you love to do outside of what you want to do, like something that, a hobby in a sense. Like, for me, it's just going to work out or, meditating or whatever it may be, just to help isolate myself from that. But just being like, being happy with yourself, coming to terms that, you're okay.
Yeah,
so that's how I do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler?
Yeah, I think what you all were saying, it's important to have time away from everything because
Yeah.
in that quiet time, you're able, like you said, to meditate, to think, and
Hmm.
it's a real special moment. So I think we always want to take that for granted, and I'm glad you pointed that out. That's just some great advice in itself.
Yeah. Thank you. And it
Yeah,
helps.
Oh,
It
you're
helps.
welcome.
yes, it does. It does for sure. Now, speaking of all of the crime that has been going on recently over the last few years, have
Oh,
you ever experienced it firsthand and not just acting? And what advice would you give to people to get help?
I can't say that I have experienced it firsthand because right now I'm living in a very small town and it's
Yeah.
fairly peaceful. But when I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years, and I lived downtown too, so that was a high crime area, like next to MacArthur Park. And again, it's the old saying is, see something, say something.
Mhm.
So I think that you got to be proactive in helping people. You can't just let that crime occur in front of you or to yourself. If you bottle that in or don't do anything, that's going to continue on. And we see the pattern today. It's ramping up.
Yeah,
So absolutely, you see
Right.
something, say something.
absolutely. Yeah, if you see anything out of the blue that is not normal, say
Yeah,
something to someone in the
yeah,
store, someone in school. If you
yeah,
see a police officer, tell the police. So,
yeah. No, that's kind of my motto on that.
yep. Tyler, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, it's just important to help and speak like what you all were alluding to there, and we have to be more proactive. I think that's
Yeah,
part of an insecurity we all have too. We want to stand back and don't want to serve others, and we got to do better. I think all of us can.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Me too. Now, during your life, Tracy, what hardships did you experience in your life, and what were some ways you overcame them?
Oh, that's a good question. So, I grew up kind of poor, in like a southern town, didn't have a lot of money. And
Hmm.
then, so what I can think of right now is I went to college and then graduated and went to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career. And you see the different bubbles of, social class. And then you realize, hey, you know what? I was pretty poor and I am. So I think it sinks in not, you can always make money, right? There's a way to make money to get yourself the things you need of the world in a sense.
Yeah,
But to overcome that, it kind of goes back to something you have to know that you're worthy and your social status or your financial status doesn't define who you are. But I did that by
right.
honestly, it comes down to knowing and being comfortable with the person that I am today. Not that I don't have still ups and downs like everybody else, but that's one of the hardships and understanding that it's okay not to have a lot of money. It's
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
You know. But I
Yeah,
overcame it by being, fine with myself. And once you realize that you only need so much, then that makes it easier.
yeah, 100%. Tyler, do you have anything to add to this? Tyler, your mic's moving, if you can hear me.
Well, what I meant to say is, what you guys are talking about. I'm just in agreement. It was so good, I was quiet at first, so I just had to. That's
We love
hey, we're
this.
we're, we're live. It's going to happen. That was really Waylon saying, Tyler, just you can be quiet now. So we're
Yeah,
just teasing. We're having fun, but it's great information, both of you.
yeah, you can never expect what's gonna happen on a live stream.
No, you
So,
Life
can't.
questions are always set up to have something happen.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
are.
Yep. Does it always go as planned? You want it to be perfect, but nothing's perfect.
Those are the best moments too, though. That's when
Yep, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they really are.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, the next question I have for you: how have your experience affected your life long term, good or bad? Did
Ooh.
those experiences change your goals or change the direction of your career?
Oh yeah. So as an actor, you start off with so many different views. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. So you start off like in one sense, you want to make it. You want to be famous, and then again, going back to the money aspect, you want to make a bunch of money, and that changes as you realize, wanting to be an actor. An actor is, something a career choice is like something you want to do the actual work. So I guess realizing over the years that certain things are just external, they don't matter. And my career, it's like actually, if I can just be a working actor only, if I can just
Yeah.
work and make enough money to live, and that's probably, being an actor. And if you're a working actor, you're at the poverty level a lot of times. I mean, you're not going to make. I mean, I booked 15 parts, for example, last year, and I didn't make a lot of money, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm happy with these days, is to be able to work and do my craft, and be considered a working actor, and which is in our business is very difficult to do. Not have another job. Other than
Yeah.
this. So I would say that's my perspective. You start off with these naive goals, like, oh, I'm gonna hit it big, or I'm gonna be this, gonna be that, and you realize that can happen. That's great,
Yeah.
But then you realize it's about the work, and then once you know that, you start booking a lot of parts. So
Yeah.
that's just the way it works. In my experience is like, do the work, put the time in, be happy with yourself, and like you guys were saying, like going back to the Southern accent, I've incorporated that now to a lot of my characters because I play a lot of parts that are extensions of the co-star. So a lot of times they'll hire me in a sense, and I'll add that in. So yeah, I think that's what's changed for me. It's just my outlook from the beginning to now. It's like it's a 180. It's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Tyler, anything you would like to say or add?
No, I just think it's just all valuable information. That's why I love having guests like you, Mr. Fisher. We just always there's something fascinating that we can always take away from what you guys are talking about. So I'm just thrilled to be co-hosting with Waylon and having you, sir. And I appreciate the advice and the lessons we all can learn from it.
Yeah, it just comes down basically being happy with who you are at this moment, and we can all improve, but you have to, as they say, love yourself in order to be, beneficial to other people, or what's the phrase for that? To be helpful to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Now, if there is one thing you can tell people about standing strong and staying true to themselves, what would it be?
It's just not wavering on your values, your core values. Like you have a set of values, internally what they are, and it's very hard not to waver to get something you think is going to benefit you in the future. I'm talking about my business in a sense, but I would say stay true to yourself. Keep it the core, and don't waver, because what you want will come. It may not be the level. It'll come in a version, but I'd say keep those core values as close to yourself as you can. Don't be willing just to do whatever, but stay true to yourself.
Absolutely, I agree. Tyler, anything?
Just to relate to that answer, yeah, we got to be who we are. We got to stay true within ourselves, or we're superficial. And it's not that we're not guilty of that, but it's so important to remember our value system and everything. And that's all I'm going to insert there. I'm just this is all just very good information. I mean, I know I sound redundant, but it's hard not to. I'm just in agreement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we all stand strong together. We are all in this crazy roller coaster together.
Yeah.
So
we are.
Now, this is one of the newest questions that I debuted a couple of times.
Okay.
If there's one thing you can change in the world today, what would it be?
Ooh. So, what would I change about my path that I've taken so far? I would have, the early version of me, I would have said, look, just be patient, because the moment you start speeding things up, it's like anything in life, mistakes happen.
Yeah.
So be patient, and know that it's going to come.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's what I would change, because I was not patient. And I'm still guilty of not being patient, but I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. That is definitely a virtue that I still need to abide by, and it's not easy.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we just all need. Yeah, most of us needs to have patience with a lot of stuff, and some stuff it's hard to have patience. That's for sure.
Yeah, and just having an open mind on other people's views, right? And just take that in.
Uh-huh.
People have these views for a reason, and you have to, like, when you're in a conversation, realize that everybody has been shaped by some reality. So and being patient in the conversation helps.
Yep, 100%. And now, Tracy, I am gonna take it over to Tyler Peters for his questions he has for you.
Yes, Tracy, I was going to ask you, who inspired you to get into acting?
Ooh, so I came in way late. So I came in to act. I actually declared it as a major at like 23. I was going to go into PT and physical therapy, but the only reason I did that is my dad and I, we used to watch movies together growing up. That's how we kind of bonded. He was always working, so that was our time. So I would say indirectly, my dad, he never encouraged me to get into the business because, like most parents are like, hey, that's not going to be a business you can make money at. But later in life, they seem it's been okay. But I would say my father, he's absolutely been instrumental in the reason I do the acting today. At the core root. And Braveheart, the #1 movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mel Gibson. That's
a classic.
Say what you will, but that's like, man, that movie had everything. That truly, because we used to watch that quite a bit. I watched it like 25 times. And that just had everything from drama, the love, the passion, it was all there. So that kind of inspired me too. I did a monologue, I think, back in the day in college from his movie. I was so passionate about that movie.
No, I think that's a great choice. Mel Gibson Braveheart is a classic, and it's interesting to hear that response. Another question would be, tell us about the comedy project called Struggling. I know we kind of talked about it briefly off air, but I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
We're still in the pre-production phase, and a guy that directed, you may see on the credits, he directed Survivor's Choice, which is going to be out soon. That's on there. He's also going to be the director for this, so I carried over to projects. But this is going to be, the best way to explain it quickly is think of Friends from the 90s, like we talked about. It's one of those just original comedies, and slice of life. We see all these subplots and these people, their lives going on, how they mix together. And, it's just, I don't want to say it's as far as slapstick comedy, but it's real life situations happening. But without giving too much of it away, because we're still in that phase, that's what it is. It's just a Friends type of original comedy.
That is so neat. And another question that I doing our research, which actor have you learned the most from? Because Waylon named off a lot of your projects. I mean, I think that's a fascinating kind of question to pose.
Good question too. Well, so I would say there's two, and one was early on when I was living in Atlanta. I was in Constantine, right? I was Nurse Brad, and then Matt Ryan, who played John Constantine. I was fairly new to this whole situation. He kind of like said, he kind of gave me the ropes. You need to be calm, get your marks. He made it easy for me to work. And he was a big star. He's Constantine.
Right.
He was very down to earth. And I was, when you go into these situations and not having a lot of credits before that, if you did, it was independent. This is straight NBC, Warner Brothers, and you see the magnitude of the set. And and I'm telling you, that cast, all of them really, it's just like sitting down on the couch with a bunch of friends. It was just very relaxed. So I'd say he had given me some good advice, but then also I was on the road to Galena, and I had a couple scenes with Margaret Collins, who was in Independence Day, and there's something about her, not so much advice, but the way she was in her scene, how she could control a scene, her nonverbal action, just being able to be there and be present in every second. I was like, man, that really inspired me. That was recent. So you're always learning in business. You're only as good as your next project. You have to be willing to start over and then go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm constantly. That's a really good question. But I would say Matt Ryan helped me to know that I could do this. And then Margaret Collin, along with Ben Whishaw, who's also in the movie. He was in like Max Steel. He's a very good actor. But I think Margaret Collin, just watching her work, wow, just her abilities, just to take it over, but in a great way, not in a way like pushing the actors out of their scene.
Sure.
Just in a beautiful way. So.
No, I love the answers. I mean, talking about getting educated, all of us on this show. And another question, is there one misconception about this profession of drama, acting, however you want to look at it, doing movies, television, that maybe you could, let us know about, that maybe those who are striving to take on the profession concerning acting would like to know from a person of your experience?
Yeah, I would say a couple things. One, the misconception, like we were talking about money. Unless you strike it straight to A-list, it's not going to be there. But you do it with the craft. Two is like, just the ability to come in and do it. Like if you feel like this is all you can do, I'm not going to be like, if this is like the only thing I want to be, and I can't do anything else is being an actor or an actress, then you do it. But man, it's such a 24/7 business. Like for an example, last year I was on the couch watching Monday Night Football, and I get a call from one of my agents, like, "Hey, I need you 6 hours away for an Ohio lottery shoot." And because the money's there, you got to get all your stuff together and you go. So it's not one of those businesses where it's a 9 to 5, 40 hours. I'm on call 24/7, 7 days a week. Like before you guys, I was also watching football, but I did an audition before this. So it's like, it's nonstop. And I'm going to spin this. It's okay if I spin this around.
Yeah.
So you can see this is my list, right? I'm going to slowly pull it up. This is my office. It's junky, sorry. But on the side is all the auditions I do every month, and I book them. I don't know if you can see it, but I catalog and track everything because it's you have to stay organized to make this work. But I would say, I will go back to my point is you have to love it, and the money's not there. So you have to be happy with the craft itself.
Certainly. And another question, that kind of going off non-acting, but probably could parallel with it, would be, what character traits do you most respect in other people?
Ooh, honestly, being honest, sincere, like, just sincerity, which it's hard to believe it. It's not there. Like somebody just telling you, like, hey, you know what? You didn't get this for a reason. That didn't happen for a reason. Instead of being like, you're great at this, but we'll see you down the road. Like, honesty helps me improve. So I think the trait of being honest and somebody's character, strong character, just convictions, just something like that. It's huge for me. I respond to that.
Yeah, we appreciate these answers. And I've just got one more question. I think we're curious to know, any favorite hobbies besides just, doing movies and everything?
Well, just honestly, this is going to sound lame, but I love just working out because it clears my mind. Meditation, like I was saying, working out, being outside, any activity where I can just be away from the business. So like I unplug, and if I can just put my phone down and not even watch the movie, just go outside. That's just being, at peace.
Right. I think that's it's so important, a part of me. And Waylon, I'll go back to you. That's all the questions, but thank you, sir.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of 9/11, 21 years ago today, where were you when you found out the news?
So I had just moved to Los Angeles, and I was living in Burbank, and I got a call from my mom said, "Hey, you need to turn the TV on," because we're 3 hours behind. So she woke me up, and I was watching it on, like, I think NBC or something. But I was actually at home, and I was able to watching it there.
Wow.
Now, literally, it was like, man, should I go back home? That kind of shook me to the core. Like, do you actually stay out in the city you don't know, or do you go back to your loved ones? So that was, I can't even imagine being there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is a sad day. We just pray for the victims and everyone. Yep.
Yeah, very sad.
Yep. Now, not things that you have played in. What is your favorite movie ever to watch from your childhood to today? What's your favorite movie?
Well, I'm gonna have to go back to Braveheart because I've done that like 25 times. I mean, it's funny you guys bring this up because my wife and I were at dinner with someone after her concert, and this guy is a random person. I had never met him before, and we were just talking about movies, and something came up. Someone asked him what his favorite movie was, and it was Braveheart. And he's from overseas, so this is universal. This movie had such an impact on many lives, many levels. Mm-hmm. So Braveheart is by far what inspired me, and what I love to watch. I'll pull it out today and watch it again. And because it's, I think he was at the top of his game. Other than Passion of the Christ too. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a powerful movie.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so good. It's hard for me to watch because it's so truthful.
Oh yeah.
Even though we've heard the story, growing up, it's like they did as close as you could to getting it accurate.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. He's making a sequel too. It's coming out, I think, next year. I think that's going to be next year. To Passion of the Christ, when Christ was in hell for the 3 days. I think that's what it's going to be about.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. I'm sure that's going to be epic as well. But Passion of the Christ was, I don't know about y'all, but it ranks up there as one of the top films.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I don't think he self-distributed, right? He got his own. He opened a distribution company to make that happen, to self-distribute.
I believe so. Yeah. So it's remarkable. Jim Caviezel, man, what a performance as Jesus.
One of the best in the business, man. He's one of the best.
Oh, he's great.
He is. That's
a guy who's got a great demeanor, right? When you look at him, we're talking about character stuff. Like I don't know him personally, but just seeing him work and who he is, I can only imagine. Like that's the core value. He's set with who he is. He knows, and that translates to the screen. That's a big translation.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Now, one inspirational quote sticks to you to never give up.
Ooh, I don't really know that I have a quote, but I think I was looking through YouTube, and I keep going back to this. Like T.D. Jakes as a preacher too, and he was talking about not giving up. Like, I can't remember the name of the video, but I don't really have a quote, but I like to tune into inspiration. That's the biblically sound.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's always good.
I do have like different things I go to, like Adrian Rogers or Billy Graham or whoever. Mm-hmm. Billy Graham's got like the quotes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, which music band inspires you to be your best self?
Ooh, another good one. I'd almost say Jeremy Camp is a great one, and I didn't really know his music before I was in that video. And the band, the 180s, I did one for them recently. They're really good, talking about being who you are. I would say that Jeremy Camp, who in his music allows you to know there's something more. Like you can't rely on yourself in certain situations. Yeah, that's inspiring to me.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some great songs.
Oh gosh, man! I didn't know. What's funny that his movie was coming out during the same time as the video dropped, and I got to know who he was. I was like, okay. So before that, I really didn't know him, and I know he's been around forever. I saw me. Yeah, he's good.
That's good. Now, during your high school career, what was your favorite subject?
I don't know that I was ever the best student. Gosh, man. I always like, sciences, like science. But definitely was not like math or anything like that. It wasn't my strong suit.
Yeah.
Not that I hate it, but it's like, But, I wasn't always the best, like, dedicated student. I didn't really have, I wasn't, until later in life, I didn't, until I went to college. School wasn't a priority. Until I found something I thought I was, into. So,
yeah.
We'll just stick with like, the sciences like that, physics or whatever. But but again, I'm not, like I said, I couldn't say that I was a model student. So kids, don't take after me.
Yeah. Now, if you was not an actor, what will you be today?
I'd be like a paramedic or EMT. There's no question. Physical therapy, 100% science. Because that's what I do as a hobby. Yeah. So that would be it. That takes so much time. And the craft I do now. But God, EMT, a first responder, anything to be to be there. Yeah, I would absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. That's good.
That is.
Yeah. Now, the last question I have,
Yeah.
how would you rate Standing Strong with Waylon Myers to the viewers, and what has your experience been like being on my show?
Scale 1 to 10, this has been a 10. Reason being, I love the conversation. It's very personal. My experience has been great because it feels like we're just kind of hanging out. Which is great. That's how interviews should be. Like some of the best podcast interviews out there is when they let the guests, do their thing. I think you guys are great. I'd love to come back.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next episode 40. What is this? 41.
Yep, episode 41.
Part 2 on 42.
Yeah, we
I
can.
think it's a 10. I love it, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
we will sure have you back, and we could come up with different questions to ask you based on what we asked you today. So,
well, what about you guys? What's your experience on doing this show? Like, how has this helped you guys?
It has changed me a lot, being positive and helping change people's lives to let them know that they are strong. So I was like, if I can just change at least one person's life, it will make me happy.
That's all it is, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
It's inspired me. Waylon asked me to be a part of his show, and having guests like yourself, it's just it gives me a lot of hope and strength. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, if speaking of transparency, yeah.
But yeah, when I first did Standing Strong a year ago, I was gonna stop on my 7th episode because I thought it wasn't gonna make it anywhere. But then I got advice from some friends and from Lillian Garcia, and they just built strength in me, and I just did not give up. And here I am, 41 episodes in.
Season 2. So going strong.
Of season 2.
Amazing.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Tyler, what has it been for you to help interview these aspiring actors like Tracy?
Oh, it's been a great, speaking of learning experience, just getting to know their background and some of the questions. Like he said, Waylon, what's awesome about your show, it's a personal conversation. I think that is important because we're relaxed. And, that's what's special about Standing Strong.
Yeah,
it does. Because, it does. It helps, like I say, relax you. And I've just came away just always being more positive than normal, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for guests, it's hard for guests to come on the show because they never know. And we sit on this show right away, you just get this very calm and relaxing demeanor, and that makes you open up. You can be yourself. And that gets better.
True.
And I get messages on Instagram and TikTok and Trail. People was like, I don't even know who you are. You just popped up on my feed one day, and I watched your video. Yep.
Yeah,
and they said,
episodes. I checked out some of your episodes. It's really inspiring. So I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So you're doing great work. Both you guys.
Thanks. Yeah, and they was like, you changed my day. My day was bad, and by me watching your video out of nowhere, it changed my day to a positive outcome. And I'm like, wow, my show is changing people's lives.
That's got to be a good feeling,
Yes, it is.
I think that's incredible.
Yeah. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep working hard to get to like my 100th episode. It's my goal. So
you're almost halfway there,
absolutely.
Get closer.
Yep. We are 8 episodes away for the 50th. So, so I can't wait for that. Tyler, before we wrap up this interview, is there any last questions that you have for Tracy?
I was looking over the questions and stuff, and I'll tell you what, you pretty much touched on the influence, who influenced you and inspired you. Yeah. I was just going to ask about, maybe describe your experience on like that NBC series Constantine. I think that would be my final question.
Yeah, well, again, that was my first, what's called Taft Hartley. That's the first time that I did was able to be a part of a big union project. So as an actor, I don't know if you guys know this, but you start off non-union, which is not part of doing a lot of independent stuff. And I remember driving up, and I see just a ton of trucks and people, but I will say it was a massive scale because it's NBC and Warner Brothers. But the moment I stepped on there too, and you don't get this all the time, I just felt at home. And they made this it was a pilot, so they had 13 episodes, and I was on episode 12. So they had they already knew each other, they were gelling, but anybody coming in, they just made you feel at home. And again, Matt Ryan, I can't say enough. He was just, he's a big star, but he was like the nicest person I've ever met, so it was great.
Yeah, I think it means a lot when you look up to these people that, like you say, he's a big star, but they're humble and they're not afraid to help. But like you were saying, and you, Waylon, too, that's a great character trait.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, hey, thank you so much. That would be the only question. Yes, sir.
Now, what's next for Tracy Fisher?
Ooh, if I can look at my board. So I've got several things coming out. Like, No King is a music video coming out. I'm going to do a movie next week. And then I'll be on to a kind of like a print ad for a big tech company. And then I'll be doing another big movie in New Jersey toward the end of the year. So it's just, so again, these are small parts, like 2 or 3 days, but quite a few things lined up. But hopefully, one day it'll all translate to something a little bigger. But like I said, at this point in my life, I'm certainly happy with where I'm at. So I'm just
Awesome.
blessed. I'm super blessed.
That's
Awesome.
great.
And now, before we wrap this interview, what is your favorite time of the year?
Oh, fall. Absolutely fall. You got sports coming in, the weather is changing. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah,
What
and
about you guys?
before
What's your favorite?
I agree.
I like fall and I like Christmas, but I don't like winter.
So Pennsylvania probably gets a lot of snow.
Yeah, it has its moments.
Yeah, I like.
What about
fall
you,
personally.
Tyler? Do you have lots of snow in Tennessee?
Surprisingly, it depends. Even in East Tennessee, we didn't get as many snows at certain years, and you would think, close to the Appalachians, you would get more. But it's so weird sometimes, the climate. It doesn't get as much snow as you would think. But yeah, fall would definitely be it for all those reasons, sports and seeing the leaves change. I think that's so cool, and I love to go out and shoot ball. And with fall, it's always a good season, yeah. But I'm laughing because I'm below average height, so it's probably a good thing I'm shooting by myself.
It's only 5'9". I'm like, vertically challenged.
Right.
That's
a great term, yeah.
Yeah, last year winter we had more snow, but in 2020 and 2019, those last 2 years we had a green Christmas, and it started snowing till like February, but then it snowed all the way up to the end of June, and it was like rainy second. We're supposed to be in summer, not snow.
Like, we're just gonna fool you.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a lot of the snow, that comes in April and March sometimes. Even Texas got a lot this past year, and you're thinking, wow, where's this coming from?
I mean, Virginia and Tennessee are kind of the same, like Tyler. We have the same exact kind of spotty snows, but I'm sure like Pennsylvania's like consistent.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Now, Tyler, any last things you have for Tracy?
No last things. All I'm going to add is that it's been a pleasure to join you, Waylon, and you, Mr. Fisher. This has been a great experience and interview.
Okay. And just one more time, where can people find you on social media?
On Instagram, at Tracy Fisher. That's TREYC Fisher.com. Or not, I guess that is .com or at. Yeah. I guess you can just Google it because my name was taken, so I had to get creative. I had to put Tracy Fisher.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the 41st episode of Standing Strong with my 41 guest, Tracy Fisher. Thank you so much for being on with me and Tyler. And until the next episode, everyone,
I'll be tuning in,
remember,
and
thanks.
I'll see you guys soon.
Oh,
Thanks.
thank you.
Remember, we stand strong together. God bless.
God bless. Bye.
Bye.